Well, it is now day 13 of the group stage games, and we got four more games tomorrow, and we have two games that will be playing simultaneously to each other. And the fact that second place could be up for grabs in these two groups, and maybe even first place could be changing hands depending on what happened to the team that is currently top of the standings. And if they lose that game and the team below them actually win, then they could take over first spot. So there's definitely a lot at stake in these two groups tomorrow, and there's a lot of big games tomorrow and a lot of headlines that when the games are finished, there's going to be definitely some surprises and certainly some talking points to talk about. But we're going to start with the preview today before we talk about that tomorrow. And we're going to start with Group C. And just like what I did yesterday, instead of me just reviewing this game or previewing these games very in depth, I am going to be talking about the scenario of how each team can make it to the next round and talk about how each team that is looking outside into the knockout stage can get in themselves too. So first of all, we're going to talk about Australia versus Peru and France versus Denmark. And if you look at Group C, France currently top of the standing with 6 points. They are actually automatically now qualify in the next round, so they could not be eliminated heading into the final day of the group stage. Denmark currently have 4 points right now. They have 1 win, 1 draw. They have scored 2, give up 1, and they have a +1 goal differential. And by the way, France, they have 3 goals, score 1 allow, and have a +2 goal differential. While Australia currently have not won a single game, but have drawn 1 and lost 1, and they have 2 goals scored in this tournament, 3 allow, and they have a -1 goal differential with just 1 point. While Peru, I forgot to put Peru here, but they are now eliminated in the World Cup. So just like what I did with Morocco yesterday, I do apologize to any Peruvian fans that I will not be mentioning your team very often in this video because they are eliminated in this tournament. But certainly they can play spoiler in this tournament, and certainly one of the spoiler they can play is knock Australia out of this tournament, and maybe even a draw in this game will knock Australia out of this tournament. Australia has to win their game. And for Denmark, obviously the easiest thing for them to get through the next round is either win or draw. Now, if Denmark did lose this game and Australia did win, then it gets a little bit kind of complicated, because for Australia, I think if they beat Peru, they need to maybe score 1 or 2 goals. And Denmark, you know, the way that if they lose this game, they got to make sure they don't lose by more than 1 or 2 goals. But having said that, you know, since these games are kind of going simultaneously and that the goal differential is only 2 goals, anything can definitely happen. And you know, both Australia and Denmark did drew each other in their head-to-head, so it could also depend on the goal score, which is also dead even. And you know, if the goal differential and the goal score in the head-to-head and also the records are all tied, then it goes to basically fair play and see what exactly how many yellow and red cards are each team have committed, and the team that committed the less yellow and red cards will move on, which I'm not even going to get to that because I actually don't have the stats of that. But like I said, the simple thing for Denmark to do is just win or draw, and they will automatically make it through. And Australia will have to hope that they can beat Peru, who is already out of the tournament, and that they need some help from France. And you know, France, despite the fact that they are through to the next round, there's still no guarantee that they can finish top, and I'm pretty sure they want to finish top. And you know, I hope France can take a note of what Uruguay did today, of how for the first couple of games, like Uruguay, they have been looking very kind of mediocre, not very good whatsoever, but they're still getting the result, and that's why They have 6 points right now, but they really need to start thinking about picking up. They really need to get some of their star players to start scoring some goals and have some confidence heading into the round of 16, because if France did beat Denmark, but they don't beat them very convincingly, or let's say if they drew against Denmark or even lost against Denmark, then there's definitely not only going to be a lot of question that Didier Deschamps is going to have to answer, but it's also the fact that there's not going to be a lot of confidence in this French national team. And right now, this French national team, despite all the talent they have on this team, they just lack that confidence. They just lack that desire to go into the next level and really kind of show people that they are going to be the favorites of winning this World Cup. And unless they don't start showing that desire, I really think this French team could be knocked out early in the knockout stage, and that this could be one of the biggest disappointment so far in the World Cup, and kind of is the similar disappointment that France suffered back in 2010. But we'll see how that's gonna go. Denmark, they certainly will want to play this game knowing that they're not safe from qualifying to the next round, even though they have a very good kind of cushion and they're in a very good spot to qualify into the next round. But we'll see how it's gonna go in tomorrow's game. We're gonna see if France and Denmark will be the one that will be moving on into the knockout stage. But yeah, now heading into Group D, and Group D is where it gets a little bit more complicated, and this is where there's going to be a lot of headlines that's going to be mentioned. The headlines tomorrow when Group D's game finish will be either Argentina, the almost said defending champ, even though they didn't win the World Cup 4 years ago. They actually got into the final. And I was gonna say that one of the World Cup finalists from 4 years ago could be knocked out of this year's World Cup, and Messi's hope of trying to get a World Cup for Argentina and able to achieve that ultimate status of the greatest player of all time could be in huge jeopardy. And I don't really think that right now, with the way that how Messi is playing for Argentina, you can pretty clearly see that he does not enjoy whatsoever putting on that Argentine national team shirt and enjoy playing for Argentina. I mean, he looked like a man that has just completely overcome by the pressure, and I definitely don't blame him, because when you have that kind of pressure that put on him and the fact that he's clearly not enjoying playing football for Argentina, that can really hurt the confidence of the way that can really affect how the way he is playing. And I don't care if he's the best player in the world. Even the best player in the world can be overcome. Well, not overcome, but can really just crumble in that pressure that he is putting in. And for Argentina, obviously they're going to be playing against Nigeria, and if you remember what I said back in the prediction video, this is the same Nigeria team that beat Argentina in a friendly 4-2, and even though it was just a friendly and it wasn't a competitive game, maybe it can come back into the later kind of group stage game, and that might be a reminder that even though you would say that Argentina should definitely give it all, and Messi's definitely going to give it his all to try to get into the knockout stage, Nigeria is a team that have already beat them before, and don't say that they can't do it again, because this is a Nigerian team that after when they play against Iceland, and this was a very organized Iceland team, and they beat them 2-0, and they probably could have got more in that game too. So there is a high possibility that Argentina is going to get knocked out of the group stage. And I don't remember the last time Argentina has failed to get out of the group, but it must be a long time ago. I mean, this World Cup, there's been just so many wacky things and many surprises. Well, let's throw Argentina missing out of the knockout stage and failing to get past the group stage as probably one of the biggest surprise. But still, there is a chance for them to move on. They have to win tomorrow's game to get to 4 points, and they also got to hope that Iceland lose or draw their game against Croatia. Then they, of course, will be moving on into the next round. Now, if they drew against Nigeria, then I think they're going to, or not I think, they're definitely going to be eliminated because Argentina would be at 2 points and Nigeria would be at 4. And as for Iceland, they play against Croatia, which is the strongest team, and certainly that will be, in some way, that will kind of go against them in terms of trying to make it out of the group. But then again, I think Croatia they're gonna probably sit out most of their guys. Even if they lose this game, I think they'll still finish top because they have a +5 goal differential compared to a +0 goal differential that Nigeria has. And I think Croatia definitely, they can rest some of their guys to get ready for the round of 16 matches. And for Iceland, I still believe that they can get a result out of this. They definitely need to win this game, which means that they can't really just keep playing that defensive kind of style and trying to hit team on the counter attack kind of play all game long. They need to be more adventurous. But yeah, it will be very interesting to see whether or not if Iceland and Argentina, if really, like, these 3 teams, one of them will of course make it through to the next round, and there could be a high possibility that that team that move on could be a surprising team, and that really the big headlines tomorrow will probably be that Argentina is going to get knocked out of the group stage, and that Messi could potentially maybe retire again like he did in the Copa America. I mean, I don't know. For Argentina, they have their work cut out for, although it is still possible. They're definitely in a better position than, let's say, Australia is in previous group, and certainly in a better situation where a team needs to get all 3 points to move on, and that they don't have to probably worry about the goal differential whatsoever, because they get 3 points, they'll be at 4 points, and they will knock Nigeria out of the World Cup. And depending on what Iceland do to Croatia, well, actually maybe that might be the goal differential factor. If Iceland beat Croatia and Argentina beat Nigeria, then it will really come down to the goal differential. And if Argentina take care of their business and score goals, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna go attacking, they have an attacking mindset throughout the entire game. They're going to try to score as many goals as possible so that they make sure if they win that game against Nigeria, they win it big, and that if Iceland does beat Croatia, then they will have a bigger goal or Argentina will have a bigger goal differential to knock Iceland out of the tournament. But for me, since I am sort of an Iceland fan, as that is the second team that I root for in this tournament, I just kind of want to see Iceland get through. I just want to see another big surprise. I mean, I don't mind if Nigeria move on, because this Nigerian team is very talented, but who knows? Maybe Iceland can actually shock the world again by beating Croatia. And yeah, we're gonna see how that's gonna be. There's definitely gonna be big headlines that's gonna be making tomorrow after all these games are done. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash that subscribe button, and yeah, I will see you guys next time.